So the tech market has been in a bit of a conundrum lately. Hiring is kind of all over the place. We had huge layoffs a couple of years ago. AI is coming in. Front-end developers are kind of on like rocky ground here because basically what's happening is now you have tools like VS Code and you can install an extension called Augment, or you could just use Copilot with the Sonnet 3.7 Claude extension on it, or you can use Cursor AI. So regardless of what your IDE is, basically now you can be like I've been working with this help desk guy, and I showed him how to vibe code, and within 3 days he built out this whole JavaScript CSS analytics dashboard for our Enter ID. Shows like all of our groups, like all this information about it. He created AI agents, so all you need is an open API key from your Azure AI Foundry, whatever AI model you're using. And essentially you could just like create these applications without even really knowing how to code or how any of this stuff works. And it just like, basically you could just go onto it and say, hey, I need to analyze this Azure Data Factory pipeline. And can you explain to me what Azure Data Factory even means and what a pipeline means? And can you relate it to a grocery store? So the grocery store metaphor has been huge for me. Like when you explain, like, what is Kubernetes, for example? It says, okay, Kubernetes, it's like you have a namespace. Okay, namespace is like Walmart, all right? And then inside the namespace, you have your contexts. Contexts are like the different regions that Walmart sits in. You got Walmarts in Kentucky, you've got Walmarts in Washington, and then they have different rules on them. So then within those regions, you have your nodes. So the nodes are like within the metropolis areas, maybe in the municipalities, and you might have more than a couple pods in a node. So, and then that's where your pods are, and then that's where your workers are, and the workers, all the APIs is basically your customers and everything coming in and out. And then this is kind of like and then goes into the databases where the tables can be like the aisles in the store. So yeah, relating technology engineering concepts, putting into ChatGPT, explain it like it's a grocery store, explain it like it's a supermarket, or like anything that like makes total sense, and all of a sudden it's like all of these things start to click a lot easier. It's never been easier to study IT, mathematics, and engineering than it is today. I mean, anyone could study it now. So now the question is coming to, what about jobs, right? So the biggest fear right now with IT and other industries too is that the AI is taking a lot of jobs, right? Well, I'm here to tell you that the most expensive Azure AI Foundry package is about $100,000 a month. And then in order to run that at full capacity, you need your Microsoft Fabric set up with all your hyperscale databases, Cosmos DB. It sits on top of your AKS clusters and all of your web application firewalls and gateways and all your security around it. So essentially, in order to even get this $100,000 a month piece of technology working for AI, you already have to have like at least $500,000 a month infrastructure that it's going to run on top of to give you the full benefits. So with that kind of money comes a lot of complexity. So I say, and from what I'm seeing too, when I went to FabCon in Las Vegas, that for every job that AI replaces, 2 more jobs come up. And those 2 new jobs are jobs that maybe we don't even really understand what they are yet, because AI is still pretty new, but now we're replacing jobs that AI is taking, and now we need to hire people to uphold that architecture and systems in place that the AI operates on. Now we need more electricity, we need more cooling for that electricity, we need a lot of more data centers, maybe nuclear power plants. So the jobs aren't going away. It's just that the job market and the industries are changing, right? It's like 500 years ago, we used to have boot makers, shoe cobblers, barrel makers, ship guys, like, building out the sails on the ship before planes were a big thing in cargo. There used to be a lot of jobs, and like, especially lumberjacks before the chainsaw came out. You had to have thousands of lumberjacks out there cutting that wood by hand. Then the chainsaw came out. Guess what happened? I mean, a lot of those jobs were cut, and then they had to find other jobs. But then with the chainsaws coming out, now it's like, well, now you have more wood. So yes, you have less lumberjacks, but now you have more furniture building jobs because now you have way more supplies of wood. Now you can do more stuff with the wood. So AI is just another one of those revolutions. So my point here in this talk is if you're trying to get into IT, I think the biggest thing you need to be focusing on is using AI to study. And this is I have an unconventional one. I think his name's Zach or Z or starts with a Z. I'll put the link in the description, but excellent video on how you should play FACTORIO. If you're serious about getting into IT and you want to be in DevOps and AI and data science, you should start playing this game called FACTORIO. If you can beat that game, like, it sounds unconventional because it's like usually when you want to study, then that means don't play any video games. But if you're going to play a video game, make sure it's FACTORIO because that game's going to put your mindset into automation. You're going to understand how automation works, how scalability, and all of these, the security and reliability and redundancy and all these different tools like pipelines. And so that's a great game to play. The biggest things of the future is really data, AI, analytics, automation, and security is absolutely crucial. So I think security is still an absolute must in the industry. So if you're trying to go down security, well, you're not getting replaced anytime soon. And data engineers, analysts, scientists, that's kind of like the new way that the job market's going. So I would say start learning about, if you're brand new to IT, you should start with the basics. Learn how a computer works, what a GPU, CPU is, learn a bit about an operating system. You got to learn about networking, just understand like TCP, UDP, IP addresses, learn about VLANs, switch stacking and routing on a stick, like all that. You got to know like your fundamentals of networking, and then learning about like how backups work, disaster recovery works. Disaster recovery is huge. Your AI depends on things, your infrastructure to kind of work already. So if anything goes wrong in your system, then all your AI systems are just going to like crash, break, everything's going to go wrong. So disaster recovery is a really huge skill, essential skill in the AI market because, as I said, all of your data sets, your SQL, data science, all this fancy new shit doesn't mean shit unless if you can have a plan for backups, disaster recovery, and keep hackers out, and keep vulnerabilities at bay. So disaster recovery is an absolute huge skill. If you don't know how to study that, anything that you don't know what I'm saying, just put into ChatGPT. How to study disaster recovery. Put that in, and it'll give you this list of stuff. Tell me, how do I do a lab on disaster recovery for an AI environment? Put that in. So disaster recovery, before you get to disaster recovery, learn about Windows, Linux, networking, backups, disaster recovery, learn about a bit of cabling, server stuff, switching, routing, learn about databases. You don't got to be an expert in anything, right? Anything to just start asking ChatGPT, take your notes, ask ChatGPT to give you little quizzes and tests, give it grocery store methodologies, or metaphors, and ask it to provide you labs, like step-by-step instructions, go through them. Even if your labs don't work, a lot of them won't work outside of an enterprise environment, so don't get stuck on things if you get errors and they don't work. Just as long as you're practicing and you're doing it. The other big thing is portfolio. I can't stress this enough, man. I have a college diploma in network administration, and there's people out there with master's degrees in computer science, and I've gotten DevOps engineer job opportunities over them. And that's because I have a portfolio, right? What does a portfolio mean? You should have a GitHub profile. And make a commit, try to make a commit almost every day. Even if it's just like AI generated, who cares? Every single day, do your best to make a commit, and then start building out your projects. You want to go into a job interview with something to showcase. Like, the way that I got my current job, like one of the ways is when you go into the job interview, you go, you check the job description first, and you go through it. You're like, okay, they're looking for someone who's proficient with Kubernetes, Terraform, containers, and backups and disaster recovery. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna build out a Terraform module that deploys Quake 3 on an Amazon Kubernetes instance, and it's gonna have a disaster recovery set. And I don't know how to do that, so I'm gonna go to ChatGPT and I'm gonna study it for a while. I'm gonna work on it all weekend. I'm gonna build out this project. Then when the interview comes, we start talking back and forth, and I go, hey, by the way, while we talk, can I just share my screen and showcase the project that I've built specifically for this job interview, to showcase that I have the skills and that I'm not just talking that I can do the job, that I can actually showcase that I can do the job too. So that thing goes a long way. Portfolio, have a GitHub, even make your own custom website, make some YouTube videos, tutorials. A lot of the tutorials I've made in the past was before AI came out, but similar frameworks. I bought a C++ course in a textbook. So I bought the textbook, and I would go through the textbook. I would review all the information in the textbook, all the practices, and then I would make YouTube tutorial videos on it. So now you don't even need to do that. Now you can just go to ChatGPT or Claude or Anthropic or whatever you're using, Gemini, and then you type in, I want to make a course for yada yada yada. Can you give me the first lesson? And then it gives you the first lesson, and it can even gives you like the script. So you get the talking points, you get everything going. So, and it's amazing. So now it's like you have no excuse to not make YouTube videos. If you're a professional engineer, you're trying to become a DevOps or AI or data scientist, if you don't have a YouTube channel and a GitHub portfolio and if you don't have something to showcase other than what's on your paper, then like, what are you doing, man? You're not utilizing your full potential, and like AI is here to help us maximize our skill set and maximize our potential as a person. And people who will utilize that will always outshine the people who don't, right? So it's all about that skill set. And so yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about today. And that's just spitballing. Good luck on your journeys. And that's all.